Excuse me, could you get me a clean glass? And I mean clean, not just wiped 3 times with a dirty rag.
I'm not sure. I don't mean to say that you peasants all look the same, but you have to understand it's quite difficult for people like me to tell anyone apart in this dreariness.
Especially since there seems to be so many people like you here. I thought the South was supposed to be more secluded. My name is Alyssa Murray, and I'm here with my husband, a very important cloth merchant. But surely you must have heard about our family.
Not to brag, but we are rather prominent. I am famed amongst Camelot's courtiers for throwing the most magnificent feasts.
Well, my Duncan is here on business, of course. A very important contract with the Lightkeepers. I decided to accompany him because I have never been to the South, and I've heard so much about its wild, untamed beauty. So far, it's turned out to be terribly dull. And the smell! It's like stale fish and sweat. Hopefully I don't have to suffer it much longer. Pray, tell me, do you know anyone here who would run a small errand for me? Oh, nothing major. You see, I've had my eye on this beautiful abandoned estate overlooking the sea. It's not very far from here, but it's far enough away from all this rabble. If we stay here for a while, I need a place for myself. You understand that, right? No offense, but I can't keep living in a filthy room at an inn. When I asked the innkeeper to draw me a bath, he brought me a bucket. A bucket! Can you imagine? Finally, someone sympathetic to my plight. My Duncan has been heartless about it. He just keeps going on about how I was the one who wanted to come here. He told me to deal with it. Can you believe that? The nerve of the man. Well, what he doesn't know can't hurt him, can it? He should be glad that I can take care of myself. I'm not like the other high-born women, sitting around waiting to be handed everything on a silver platter. And besides, he knows better than to say no to me. Fine. The problem is that the manor appears to have some occupants, not legal ones, mind you, who need to be evicted. Forcibly, if there's no other way. You'll do it for me, won't you, dear? Splendid! I can't wait to start decorating. Maybe something nautical, to go with the sound of the waves crashing on the cliffs? Or do you think that's a trifle trite?
Who are you? Another refugee? This place is already crawling with your lot. It's like a Camelosian privy after a feast. In my day, you only saw old familiar faces round here. And maybe we didn't all love each other, but a local is a local. It was easier to share with others, even when you didn't have much. That's so. Fine. Whatever you say. But yeah, I could see that you don't really look like one of them. Just pass them through then. Shame it had to be now. Not so long ago, we'd have sat down and had a drink with the rest of the lads. Now I come here alone. You asking me? They came here and made themselves at home. I ain't talking to any of them. Orderly. No damn rabble begging at the gates and eating us at a house and home. Yeah, back then, sure, civilians came and went. But housing them, feeding them? We had a rule. No freeloading. But I guess that went out the window, along with our pride. It used to mean something to be a keeper. You could come in off the streets and keepers would make a man out of you. Now, bunch of spoiled lordlings sold off to Brandon by their daddies for a bag of gold. Treated like they're made of glass. Soft. Weak. The lot of them. What's there to be proud of? You watch your damn mouth. We did everything we could. I've said it before. We need a whole damn army to keep this region in check. And besides, how do you know these leeches are even telling the truth? Every village wiped out. Just like that? Give me a break. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Do you see anything interesting around here? There's this tavern, and plenty of fish in the sea. Decent place to retire, but not much else. Well, if you're looking to sightsee, try the sunken village. Just don't let the locals tear you to shreds. I don't know. But you could put something on the table, and then maybe we can talk. Thank you. That's better. We used to come here, the three of us. Me, Berg, and Fedley. But lately, something's gotten into Berg, and it all kinda fell apart. Hell knows what happened. One day he just stopped talking to us. We went to his house to get him, but he only cursed a blue streak at us. Say, mate, do you feel like talking to an old obla? I feel bad for him, but I've got no more patience. And Finley. Let's just say Finley's no good at this stuff. Now you're talking. Ever since he got so maudlin, Berg usually sits alone by the sea. Let me know what's wrong with him.
Oi, Noel! What if I pulled Excalibur from that stone, but it broke, but only at the tip? Would I still get to be king, or not?
You're so daft, Randall. Some magical lass living in a lake gave the king the sword when he broke his own bashing forearm skulls.
So, the one in the stone, what's that called? It's not Excalibur, is it?
Nah, the one in the stone was called, don't know. Sword in the stone, I guess.
Sod it. Whatever. So, if I poured the sword in the stone from the, stone, and it broke, but only a little, would I still get to be king?
What? No. You'd have to pull out all of it. Only the one who pulls out the sword gets to be king, yeah? Not the one who pulls out a bit of the sword.
Wait, but if you have a sword and it breaks, do you tell everyone that you have a sword or that you have a piece of the sword? Besides, you can always take it to the smith and he can fix a new tip.
But if he fixes a new tip, it won't be the same sword.
Are you off your knocker? How's it not the same sword? So, what is it now? A ploughshare?
A shit share.
Listen, just listen to me. You've got it all wrong. You've got a sword, right? And then the tip breaks off, so you attach a new one, right? But then, let's just say it breaks again.
That's one shitty sword you have there.
Now, listen to me. Now, damn it. It breaks off, so you fix it with a new piece again. And then it happens again, and again, and again. Until you finally get yourself a whole new blade from the smith. So get this, if the whole blade was replaced, is it still the same sword?
Well, no, it isn't.
There you have it. You just need to be, what's the word? Rational.
Fine, fine. Now let's have a drink. My throat's drier than a priestess purse.
See, now you sound rational.
Beer from Kunacht, wine from Farshire, moonshine, only local, the best there is. And fish, lots and lots of fish. What's your poison? You mean the old pier? Well, first of all, it's not that old. Brennan was already the captain when it was built. Why is it called that? Don't know. Probably because of all those old folks around. A lot has been happening here lately. Plenty of new faces. I definitely can't complain. I'm finally running a proper tavern. People come and go and the regulars drink as usual, as it should be. Daddy will be proud. Hey, not here, obviously. You won't see your old man here unless your name's Dara. Mine sent me here because he hoped I'd make something out of my life. He never wanted me to pour a beer and look at the same tired mugs day in, day out, but as it turns out, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I got mauled by a werebeast during a hunt, and after that, the captain decided I wasn't any good for active service, so he sent me here. I was bored out of my mind, and since there wasn't one here, I decided to start a tavern. At least I'm not as bored anymore. No, I don't recall anything like that. But that means... no. Impossible. What if... Holy moonshine. I remember. Sigibald. It was Sigibald who left those documents behind. I've no idea how you found out about it. Sigi. He's dead. Taken by a fever. Aye, of course I have. I didn't just throw them in some cabinet. I was afraid they'd fall into the wrong hands. He was a good man. I wouldn't get rid of my only memento of him. Here, after what you said, I assume you'll make good use of them. Even though I'm still not sure what to think about it. Things are getting weirder and weirder in our beloved Avalon. Well, he died like he lived, with a tankard in his hand. The boys always said Siji was a friend worth 5 others. And he was. He was a prankster like no other. Once, he slipped a rotten egg into the quartermaster's dinner. Never a dull moment with him, that's for sure. No problem. Listen, if by some miracle you really talked with Sigibald, please, give him my warm regards. I don't understand anything anymore.
Guess he's got nobody else to get pissed with. Finley never liked drinking alone with him. Tainted tends to get into one of his moods. And? What? That's all? You're bothering me just because that old rascal is sitting alone in the inn with nobody to natter to. You people, bugger off.
What do you want? To gawk at the beast? Well, I'll have to disappoint you. My Cole is not the monster you all believe him to be. So you really don't know? If you're not from here, I'm not sure what could have brought you to this hellhole. But you have my sympathies. Just know that Cole isn't like that. Something is poisoning his mind and soul. I don't know what it is, or why it happened to Cole. But now we're all at the mercy of those damned keepers. One evening there was a quarrel between our group, the villagers, and one of the keepers. They'd had a bit too much to drink and let some comments slip. They hurled insults at us, saying there's no place for us here, that we should just get the hell out of here because things are hard for everyone. Hard? Sure. I bet that bunch of wimps wouldn't last a week outside. All they do is sit in that keep of theirs, thinking they're the defenders of justice. Well, Cole went mad. I've never seen him like that before. He attacked that keeper and bit him. It was serious, but the keeper survived. If it weren't for the other men from the village, things could have ended very differently. Afterwards, they chained Cole up and locked him in a cage. His condition started to worsen. They said a monster like him doesn't deserve a jail cell. Jail cells are for humans. Bastards. This might sound silly, but before we reached the keep, we came near a strange structure. The locals call it the Arch Spire. In the morning, we realized everyone had a strange dream, but it was a little different for each of us. Cole started acting weird after that, and in time, it only got worse. No, only that, well, it didn't make much sense. But he was convinced that something bit him. He kept checking. It must have been some bug. Something changed by the weirdness. That must have caused his fever, his insanity. Well, it was pretty typical. We started a fire and threw some cobwebs into it. Frang brought them back from one of his treks. That boy could always find them somehow. It was our protection from the night and the weirdness. Ellis was on watch that day, but from what he told us, he eventually fell asleep. We were lucky no one slit our throats. I was in a strange place. Dark. Full of fog. Eerie. I was trying to find him. I called out, but no one answered. I was alone in the night, and then I kept falling, and falling, and falling. And then I woke up. We set up camp near the Arch Spire. We hoped that bandits wouldn't dare to venture into a place like that. Well, now I know why we could have been right. With everything that's been happening lately, I'm ready to believe in every strange thing in this world.
Oh, right. I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Beatrice. As for me and Cole, well, we left Ree hoping to find a quiet place to rest for a bit.
We planned to travel the King's Road toward Camelot. Well, here we are. We found our bloody Camelot. Cole is locked up and all I can do is shed bitter tears.
Yeah, we grew up there. The village was built around a trade route. My parents ran a tavern that stood right by the road.
We had a good life. We lacked for nothing. Well, that was before the damned grubwood started spitting out monsters.
Then more and more caravans disappeared into the forest. People were telling stories that grew more horrifying by the day. In the end, taking that route meant certain death.
Yeah. I doubt I'll ever see him again. I don't think there's anything worth going back for.
The same thing that will happen to every place on this god-forsaken island. Ruin. We used to have generous clientele. Merchants and emissaries from all over Avalon. They had deep pockets, always left lots of gold. But that changed. Then our only income came from the villagers, who were getting drunker and poorer by the day. That was always our plan. Cole and I never wanted to stay there forever. Beatrice and Cole from the village of Ree, that wasn't us.
Each of us has a different story. Some wanted to seek their fortune elsewhere, like me and Cole. Some had to flee their homes because of bandits pillaging their villages, or because of the weirdness. Ree could be one of those places by now. There's so much turmoil in this world. People can suddenly lose themselves, becoming a danger to those they once loved. 2 or 3 weeks ago, things were starting to get difficult. The supplies we brought with us were running low. A larger group of people is always helpful. There's always someone to talk to and share the work with. But it also means more mouths to feed, and more worries to deal with. It's not easy.
What? What? How dare you? Do you know the meaning of those flowers in that configuration? Revenge. Revenge, deception, and death. There's nothing nice about it, and I don't know if he did it on purpose or if he's just an idiot. But trust me, it's not a nice gesture. I don't care about his motivation. What you have in your hand is a very bad omen. Take those flowers away, burn them, throw them in a cauldron, whatever. I don't want to look at them.
Be careful out there. Be careful out there.
I hope Kate isn't making Morris do anything horrible. Do you need help settling in, dear? This isn't the best day to start a new life in this place, but we don't always get to choose, do we? What a nasty business with that boy. I'm almost glad my Morris isn't here for this. He's such a bleeding heart. I'm sorry, dear. I hope I didn't offend you. I'm still not used to all this. You see, I was born in Little Grove and thought I would live out the rest of my life there, working in the orchards in the mornings and drinking warm cider with my beloved in the evenings. We never wanted to see the world. I guess sometimes the world doesn't give us a choice, does it? Little Grove was raided by bandits, a local gang that had been terrorizing the area for months, growing in numbers with each raid. Their leader, Bald Kate they called her, somehow got hold of a branding iron used to mark outlaws. After pillaging a village, she'd brand some men and women of her choosing. That way, Kate made sure nobody would ever help them, and that they'd have no choice but to turn to her if they wanted to survive. My Morris used to be a skilled tanner. I guess that's why she picked him. It is, isn't it? Kate is nothing if not resourceful. It's a shame she doesn't put that talent into helping people instead of hurting them. I don't know. The keeper at the gate turned Morris away because of the brand on his face. I would have left with him, but I was sick and exhausted from the journey, so I promised to join him when I got better. Except now, I've no idea where to find him. No, he only promised that he'd find somewhere safe, but I'm not sure if there is any such place left in the south. Oh, Mother bless you, my dear. That's all I could ask for. Please, let me know as soon as you learn anything. At first, it wasn't so bad, but now it gets worse every day. We just sit around here, doing nothing. Don't get me wrong, we have food, we have a roof over our heads, and we're grateful for that, but no one trusts us enough to let us do any work. None of us wants to be a freeloader, as they call us. I wouldn't mind a task or two to earn my keep and to take my mind off my troubles. I might not be all hale and hearty, but I've still got two good hands, which is more than you can say about some of the codgers living here. Oh, I'm not sure, love. I don't move around too much. I just heard about that fight with the rude keeper, and now poor Cole's locked up in a cage. Him and Patrice make such a lovely young couple. They remind me of Morris and me when we were their age. A dream? Oh, yes. There was one, but I don't quite remember what it was about. I'm sorry, dear. Be careful out there, love.
said it would get easier. Someone's going to stop you. Nothing changes. Nothing ever will. You need something? I've already told you I'm not going anywhere. If you want something from me, then... Oh. I don't know you. I'm Dugald. You're not one of us. And you're not a local either.
You could have chosen a better time to come here. Kind of poor ambience, if you know what I mean.
Well, at least we have a roof over our heads. My boy Frank and I came here with the others. We left our village because... we had to. Well, I had to. But Frank is a good lad, so he came with me. I took him in, you know?
Found the poor sod at the mill, sleeping in the hay. He was chilled to the bone back then. But I could tell he'd be a strong lad once he thawed out. He used to help out on the farm.
He's young, but he already has a couple of tattoos. Tribal ones. Means he must have been cast out of the Del Rita.
At first, the people in our village gave him dirty looks. But then they realized he wasn't a bandit.
He was a good, hard-working kid. Then they started to treat him as one of their own. Frank is a quiet boy, and he doesn't talk much about himself. I feel like those days with the Reader are long buried for him. Almost like he never lived them. Roscree. Few shacks and a small field of grain. I was a miller back there. My daughter married a good, hard-working man. Eventually, I gave them the mill.
Still helped around, but wanted to let the young folks learn how to work there. Then this kid, Frank, came along. Everything seemed to be going pretty well.
Of course, something happened. Life here can't just be bearable. Oh no. Everything has to get screwed up somehow. That's the way it goes in this cursed land. My dear Trina and her bairn. They got caught by a weird beast. I started to hit the bottle and finally, my son-in-law kicked me out. I left Roscree. And so did Frank. He says he has some kind of life debt. And he won't leave me alone until one of us drops dead. I'm sorry too. To be honest, I'm a bit confused about what's going on. Usually it was me who yelled at everyone, and now I feel like a drudge. And this nasty thing with Coll. Poor lad. Shouldn't have ended like that. He and Beatrice got along very well. Let me tell you something. When I saw all these wrinklies around here, I thought this place would suit me. But then all this shit happened. I suspect we won't stay here long.
What? Ah, yes. The people are making a fuss over nothing. A dream is just a dream. No need to dwell on it.
Something happened. Frang listens. I'm not from anywhere. Frang is attached to nowhere. I found a home with Dugald. I owe him a life debt. Frang was never a dull reader. Not without a name. Without a name, you are nobody in the tribe. Like me. And if that lasts too long, you must leave. I left and became Frang. Frang. A name, and not a name. Years ago. He's a good man. Treats me like a son. Frang cannot be a Dalriada. His mother was. But the tribe decided that he was not worthy of a name. That is why he is not of the tribes. A place without a leader. As I see it, it will finally fall apart. One way or another. There are no tales about a place that survived without a strong leadership. And it's not about kings, nobleshites, or chieftains. Titles are just words that pull the wool over a man's eyes. What's needed is a strong soul with a strong name. And their names mean as much as Frang's, which is to say, nothing. Now they're a bit like Frang. Strays with no home. Beatrice is strong, despite what happened with Cole. Ellis? He's funny. I like him. Rawson? I know nothing about her. And Dugald? A man who became Frang's father. He has my gratitude. Don't bother. Frang never met the Keepers, but the unnamed boy did. Once, a few of them, many years ago, we fought. The unnamed boy survived even though he showed fear. Shouldn't do that. The Keepers approached the camp of the boy's people, but that past does not belong to Frang. I'm Frang. Conquer. Wolf. Strong. Important name. Not seen in the south for a long time. Must be dead. Frang doesn't know dream. Frang calls them visions. And yes, Frang had one not long ago. Alone, surrounded by wolves. They were no aggressive, so Frang felt no fear. It was they who feared Frang. Then, I caught the scent of blood and followed it. But I didn't reach the end. The vision stopped. Now, Frang waits for the next one, to see what's ahead.
The sun doesn't rise the same anymore. just passing through.
You've come to put me in the cage. Sorry. Just a bit of grim humor. You know, about what's been happening here. Such a mess, isn't it? Cola's alright, and Beatrice, what a shame. Such a fine girl. Anyway, I'm Ellis. Nice to meet you. What do you need? Frank? That boy is golden, I'm telling you. Smart, nice, quiet though. He keeps his head down. Only once did I see him angry, and whoa, that was something. I thought he was gonna kill me on the spot. That was back on the road, right after we met. We came here later. He sure did. I nicked Dugald's roast squirrel. It was the last one. Supposed to be his. But I forgot. I felt really bad about it. Normally, Dugald would tear me a new one. You know how it is. Miller's blood runs hot. But when Frank lunged at me, Dugald was speechless, completely shocked. Cole had to calm Frank down. Cole was a great guy. Frank, a thief? Nah, not a chance. He's got principles. Frank's not just your regular Avalonian kid. He acts differently, like he's not from here. If they were to hang him, I'd take his place. Well, no I wouldn't. But you know what I mean. Frank's a good one. Truly. Well, I'm Ellis. Goldsmithing is my life and passion. And between you and me, I feel like I'm losing my mind without it. When I hold tools and make beautiful things, it feels like I can bring some light into this wretched world. I wish I was somewhere where I could just do some goldsmithing, but I'm a bit scared. So, here I am, sitting on my ass in some village listening to waves and the screams of seagulls and old men. Nothing to write home about, even if I still had one. I was working as a goldsmith in a group of, let's call them, business people. I was once traveling with a caravan that got attacked by him. Their chief was a smart guy. The moment he heard I was a goldsmith, he knew what to do with me. He got me converting all the jewelry they stole into new pieces. Do you want to hear what I did once? We went to Timberwall. The gang wanted to rob some merchant's house. We holed up in a seedy tavern and waited for the right moment. Then, one night they broke in. Came back with a whole load of trinkets. Beautiful stuff. The moment I saw it all, I instantly knew what I wanted to craft. They gave me a couple of days, tinkered for a bit, and then, ta-da! Brand new merchandise. After I was finished, I dressed myself all nice, went to that merchant's house and went, "Good morning, kind sir. I'm a goldsmith. My work is renowned in all of Camelot. Would you be interested in what I have to offer?" You know what he said? Of course I would. That nonce bought the entire lot, even though I inflated the prices like a street peddler. And when I came back, the others couldn't believe their eyes. I thought I was gonna keel over. I miss that. Aye, there was a dream. Strangest bloody thing out of all the strange shite I've seen. When we woke up, we realised that every one of us had a weird night. I was out in the wild. I had this feeling like something was chasing me. But it was Col who really had it rough. Poor sod was moping around afterwards like he'd been hit by a sack of bricks. No, he didn't talk to me or anyone else in the group. Guess he didn't want us to worry, especially his lass. Yes and no, to be honest. See, Col has always been quick to anger, especially when things went sour. And back then, an awful lot of things were going to shite. Well, this time, I don't know. It felt different. He didn't even bother chatting with Patrice. Normally, they're a good couple. A real match, if you ask me. Right. I admitted to them that I'd fallen asleep. My eyelids felt like they weighed a ton, and before I knew it, I was out. Maybe it's stupid, but I had this strange feeling, like something was inviting me into that dream of me. Don't ask me why. Feels mad just talking about it now, but, well, we were all dead tired, so it's probably just that.
What's left for someone like me?
Be careful out there.
Oh, Mother have mercy. Not another one. If I let you pass, will you promise not to tell anyone? That you came through the village? Because I should have caught you right on the beach and asked what you're doing. And now that you're here, it's a bit late for that. That's just my luck. Take the post, Tiernan, they told me. You'll be looking after a village full of old farts. That's practically early retirement, they said. What a load of crap. There's always something. If it's not the deck falling apart, it's a refugee running around biting people. Ah, yes, that old house. That place has been empty for years. The story goes, the last owner, Keeper Galen, threw himself into the sea one stormy night. Some folks whisper of curses or restless spirits, but I say it's just talk. The captain put it up for sale ages ago, but no one's had the guts or sense, if you ask me, to take it. If you're thinking of buying it, go for it. Make it your home. Every house deserves someone to fill it with life again. Well, to be fair, he only bit one person. But it was a keeper. I know Mahone can be a piece of shit sometimes, but gods. Now both of them are sick. And Haber's got no clue what's wrong. Which is the only reason that refugee isn't dead. Yet. So, he's sitting in a cage. His wife's crying all day and everyone's pissed. Meanwhile, I'm stuck in the middle of it all. No need to tell me that. But I can't just go back to patrolling the walls. I'd be a laughingstock. I'd rather sit here and hope everything works itself out. I mean, everyone's gotta die someday, right? So whether it's me or them, at least my problems will be over. No, not really. Fortunately. The deck? Nah, just old wood. Honestly, it's the least of my problems. But I've got no way to fix it. Dara's always busy with his lighthouse, and every time I try to do it myself, someone else needs me for something. I can't even sneak out to the tavern because last time some rich bint started complaining that everything here smells of fish. That's a seaside village. What else would it smell of? You do that? That would be a huge relief. Well, maybe not huge. There are bigger problems, but it'd be a start. Truth be told, I don't know why they want it so badly. It's for boats. No one here even uses boats. But, well, you know how it is with old folks. Once they get fixated on something, there's no point in arguing. I'd pay if I could, but this was supposed to be my job. The budget's long gone. But if you're interested, I could teach you a thing or two about home decor. Not exactly standard keeper knowledge, but, well, we all have our secrets. Surprised? Can't blame you. This might sound odd coming from someone stationed at a glorified fish bucket, but I've got a thing for furniture. The only thing more mismatched than the barracks around here is my career choice. But, yeah, I like imagining places where things fit. Where chairs don't wobble, tables don't look like someone hacked them together with a dull axe, and beds, well, beds don't feel like they're plotting your murder while you sleep. Not exactly a secret I broadcast. Most folks see me as Tiernan the Grumbler. But, hey, we've all got something that keeps us sane, right? Mine just happens to be daydreaming about nicer chairs. Oh, she's a real piece of work, that one. Her name's Lady Elisa... something. I don't remember. She came here with her husband. Poor man. I never heard him get a word in. You know, sometimes I regret not getting married. But if I had a wife like her, I'd just end up being a keeper all over again.
I like it when things are quiet.
We're being watched! Beg for mercy!
Sweet All-Mothers, he's still whining about that contract. I want it fair and square. My offer was simply better, and Heffen's crap at negotiating. Besides, if you ask me, it's all just posturing. He might have lost the contract for his family, but for him, it was a clear win. Trading with the Keep in an official capacity. It means I don't just run this stand, I also handle orders from the captain and the quartermaster. It's a good deal, I won't lie, but it requires a lot of running around. I don't have time to twiddle my thumbs and make nice with the locals like Heffen does. Look, Heffen may seem dim, but he's a sly bastard. I'm not saying he lost on purpose, because I doubt that. But he didn't have to slink back to Connacht with his tail between his legs. He's got his little stall in the village, and he lords over it like a bloody king. Grouch that he is, he fits right in with the rest of those old codgers. Plus, he got his family off his back. All in all, I'd say he's doing quite well for himself.
hope nothing bad happens today.
Ah, it's you. Do you need something? No, not. Well, the thing is, I've always liked the village and the veterans living here. When you go to the tavern, they'd always share a drink and a story with you. Some of them could be real dicks. Take Tadkin, for example. But all in all, it's always been a nice place to visit. So, when the opportunity came up, I figured, why not? But the moment I took this post, I stopped being Tiernan the drinking buddy and turned into their punching bag. It's just demands, demands, demands. And when I don't meet them immediately, they start yelling and calling me names. Now I get what people mean when they say, be careful what you wish for. Because clearly, I was the best man for the job. A man with a bad leg. Perfect for running around fixing things, right? I wanted to be a builder. Big things, lighthouses, bridges. But Dara took one look at me and thought, maybe not the guy who lives like a drunk on ice. So they found me something else. Repairs. Patching up what's already standing. Not quite what I dreamed of. But hey, at least nothing I work on is tall enough to kill me if I fall off. Well, unless you count that one time I got too ambitious. Turns out, hanging tapestries isn't as harmless as it sounds. You did? I thought I heard some hammering. Oh, well, thank you for that. Truly. One less thing to worry about, right? Here, I put aside some money from my budget. You've earned it. And you have my gratitude. I'd ask you to fix the refugee barracks, but, well, there's no budget for making people's lives slightly less miserable. We'd have to do with something less spectacular. There are two places around here that could use some fixing up. First, there's the old gate. It used to be a proud marker for our territory, but now it's more of a sorry welcome sign. Then, there's the monument to the sea creature. It's been weathered down by the salty breeze, and honestly, It's starting to look less monumental and more pathetic. If you could restore them, it would do wonders for morale. And maybe even impress Fergus. What do you say? Ah, that's the spirit! I knew I could count on you. Once those are back in shape, this place might start looking like it's cared for again.